promised to give you nothing but the best on Afro Thursday. Make sure you make a date with us each and every single Friday. With me, DJ_Liza Diva.
DJ Cole Jack.
And me, Wanjiko. This is Club One Extra.
Unanifanya nisikie kunyongwa Hadija ai Mani especially ukisonga. There's faith in my world. It comes back to your teachings and all your words.
Swala ni jambo ambalo limesisitiziwa kwa sababu Mtume Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam aliwahi kusema kuwa amefaidika yule ambaye atatekeleza swala yake hali ya kuwa ana khushu'.
Aswa usarqata alladhi yasriku fi salati, yule muizi ambaye kwamba ni mbaya kushinda wote ni yule ambaye kwamba anaiba katika swala yake. Mtume alipoyasema yale, maswahaba wakashangaa, wakamuuliza wa kaifa yasriku fi salati, vipi mtu anaweza kuiba katika swala yake? Akasema alladhi la yutimu ruku'aha wala sujuda.
Akolo beshimali wala kwa mkono wa kushoto.
Yes, I swear by Allah, I swear.
By the way, usifanye mwanaume afanye ule hivi.
I know you love him, Jane.
Mimi sina kazi na yeye. Lakini Jane, hebu nikuulize. Hapana. Huyo dem ako na ball, ako na mtoto.
Mimi nafikia mmeko huko ndani mnaongea vitu za maana. Kumbe ni kuchochana mnachochana.
Hao ndio wanaume wale wenyewe wanao. Wagani? Sasa nimekuget.
Hiyo unahonga na bidii sana. Yaani sasa asubuhi mapema mimi nositari ushashika wheelbarrow.
Jackie, wewe ndio unakuwa na bidii. Kila asubuhi naamkia kwa wenyewe.
My name is Juma. Na Jackie ni bibi yangu.
What?
Bwana wako anajua unashindaga ukifanya nini kila siku.
Wajini wacha na huyo.
Utazeeka ukiamkia tu nyumba za watu.
A very good afternoon to you this afternoon. My name is Jackie Wambiru. Our sign language is Lensa Odingo. Well, we shall be bringing you a comprehensive bulletin this afternoon. You can interact with us on our social media handles at KBC Channel 1. Now, to kick us off, now this afternoon shall be crossing over to Endarasha, where our reporter John Jacob Kiria will be bringing to us the latest development from Hillside Academy in Endarasha following the tragic event of Thursday night that left 21 boys dead. Now, Kiria, kindly bring us to speed on the latest development from Endarasha.
Thank you very much, Jackie Wambiru, back at Broadcasting House. We're coming to you live from the Hillside Endarasha Academy. As it had been reported yesterday, there were planned demonstrations that were supposed to happen here of some of the parents who feel like the government is being opaque about information around what transpired here on Thursday night. But of course, also, there was a threat to occupy by Gen Zs this area. And a testament of it is on your way towards this school from the other end of the main road, there are several barricades that have been put by young men. That is to prevent protesters from accessing this area. And the locals are saying they don't want distraction, and they also don't want distraction from morning and, coming to terms with what is happening around here. And so those barricades are put to keep away any protester that plans to make their way to the school. But just around here, it would say it's a very calm, a relative calm that is around here. We've seen no really major or main action that you would say points towards any demonstration. As you can see, the gates to the school remain closed because, as I told you the other day, this remains a crime scene, and of course investigations around what transpired continue. The DCI is leading that investigation. Out here you will see just about 2 police officers really who are manning the gate out here, but the main action is inside there as investigations really continue in regard to what transpired. What we've seen really here, what you would say is activity, is just locals feeding police officers and people who are around here who are helping with the investigations. Locals really are doing a fantastic job of feeding the officers that are manning here, but nothing really points towards any demonstration or any tension around here. Now, on the other side of Kieni East, that is in Narumoru, the autopsy process kick-started very early in the morning. You remember yesterday it was not possible for the post-mortem exercise to kick off. According to the government pathologist Johansen Oduor, that exercise was hampered by the fact that they also wanted parents to see, or rather be able to see the bodies of the 21 children all together, and that happened yesterday. So the process of autopsy or post-mortem began this morning, and I'm sure a little bit later, around 4 p.m., Johansen Oduor, the chief government pathologist, will be able to address the members of the press as regards what are the results of the autopsy. Like I said, it's just standard procedure for post-mortem to be done, particularly on this, on a matter like this one. That is to remove any doubt whatsoever on the cause of death, because as it is, the children succumbed from injuries or being burnt in the ill-fated dormitory that is inside here. So the post-mortem is a standard procedure, is a standard exercise that is being done by Johansen Oduor to remove any doubt, particularly of foul play regarding the death of these 21 children whose post-mortem is being done today. The DNA results is in a month's time, because the samples are taken on Monday, and that process is going to last a month before the results are out and the DNA of parents is matched with that of children. From here, we will head towards Narumoru, of course, to continue witnessing that exercise and in anticipation of that press briefing by Johansen Oduor, the government pathologist. Back to you, Jackie Wambiru at Broadcasting House.
Well, thank you so much, John Jacob Kiria, there joining us from the Hillside Endarasha Academy, giving us an update whereby the anticipated post-mortem exercise is currently underway, and we shall be bringing you that update later on in our subsequent bulletins. For now, we move on. The government, in collaboration with Nairobi County Government through the National Environment Management Authority, has embarked on an exercise to clean Nairobi River. Speaking after touring Korogosho Dam site, President William Ruto said his administration is keen on ensuring the river becomes useful to the residents, promising to start the rearing of fish once the cleaning exercise is complete. He further said the solid waste in the river will also be used for business purposes. At the same time, the head of state said 200,000 youth will be contracted in the climate works project. Those who were evicted in Korogosho will also breathe a sigh of relief after the president promised to build 40,000 houses, which they will have an opportunity to purchase at a low fee of only 3,000 shillings.
Na NEMA tutaungana na kaunti ya Nairobi na national government tuhakikisha kwamba hakuna siwa tena inaingia katika mto wetu. Nambo la pili, vile huyu mungwana amesema ya kwamba mnataka hiyo bei ya nyumba ikuje chini. Mimi nimesikia na tutafanya hivyo. Hapa katika mto huu, mto wa Nairobi, sasa tuko na sehemu kama hii kilomita 45 kutoka kule Ngong mpaka mahali Nairobi inaishia kule Ruai. Na tumesema kama serikali, hii mto ikiwa kule Ngong ni maji masafi. Tumekuja hapa na mpango maalum ya kuhakikisha ya kwamba tunasafisha hii mto ya Nairobi. Na katika kusafisha hii mto ya Nairobi, tuko na mambo manne ya muhimu. Kwanza, nataka vijana kwanza mnisikize vizuri. Vijana mko? Vijana mko? Nataka mnisikize vizuri. Katika hiyo kilomita 45 ya mto wa Nairobi, nyinyi vijana tutawaajiri vijana 20,000 hapa katika hii mto huu. Vijana ngapi? Vijana mnanisikia? Vijana 20,000 tutawapatia kazi katika hii mpango ya kusafisha mto wetu wa Nairobi. Na nataka mnisikize vizuri nyinyi vijana, vile ya kuapply, kwa sababu hii mpango hatutaki maneno ya kujuana. Hii mpango tunataka deserving young people to participate. Tunaelewana? Kwa hivyo wewe kijana, andika vile ya kupanga hii kazi. Uende kwa mtandao inaitwa www.crsp.go.ke. Wacha nirudie. Muandike nyinyi wangwana. Chukua simu uandike wewe. Chukua simu. CRSP, www.crsp.go.ke. Tunaelewana? Nyinyi vijana mko tayari kwa nafasi ya ajira? Wale wanasema wako tayari kwa nafasi ya ajira, nione kwa mkono. Na mimi nataka niwaeleze vile vile, katika hiyo mpango ya kusafisha mto huu, tunataka kutengeneza wafanyabiashara. Hii solid waste iko hapa, tunataka tuibadilishe iwe ni chombo ya biashara. Hiyo solid waste tuweze kutumia kutengeneza bricks, kutengeneza yale mambo mengine, na tutawasaidia nyinyi kama vijana muweze kufanya hiyo biashara. Jambo la tatu, tunataka kuhakikisha ya kwamba mto huu wa Nairobi, pia tunahakikisha kwamba tunawasaidia kujenga hizi manyumba. Hizi manyumba zenu tutawajengea upya, na nyumba zenu mutapata kwa bei ya chini.
Rais Moi alilaunch project hapa. Kibaki alijaribu kusafisha mto. Tulianza, we must make it sustainable. Shida ya Nairobi, Excellency, hii mto ndio imepatia Nairobi jina yake. Nairobi ilikuwa inaitwa Enkare Nairobi kutoka Wamasai. Vile mkoloni akija, ukiangalia master plan ya Nairobi ya 1924, kisha uangalia 1948, walitaka kukaa mbali na Waafrika. Ndio maana wakati kuna mafuriko walitengeneza buffer zone. Wakati ya mafuriko ni slums za Kibira, Mukuru, slums za Korogosho, mpaka kule chini wanaumia kwa sababu walichukua zile maeneo ya juu. Wananchi wetu wameumia sana.
In other news, a 5-year-old boy killed by a hyena has been laid to rest at his parents' home in Nyashaba village, Juja, Kiambu County. Prince Njoroge Gitau was buried a week after residents of flat Nyashaba village in Juja held demonstrations barricading Thika Road for 2 hours to protest the tragedy. The residents are calling on the Kenya Wildlife Service to address human-wildlife conflict in the area.
To move into the site and offer 24-hour surveillance until they mop out the hyenas and take them where they need to be, so that this menace becomes a menace of the past in the next few days. I want to assure the residents of Juja that we are working round the clock. We are with them, and to give them my assurance that this menace will not continue.
Hatufungi mashimo juu ya fisi pekee. Juzi tulikuwa na mazishi ya mtoto ambaye alianguka kwa hiyo maji. Shimo imebaki, mvua imenyesha, maji imeflood, mtoto ameanguka amekufa. To avoid that, that's the only way that we can do that agreement.
Gasagwa ningetaka kumwambia akuje hii frat ya Safa Wetaithia Ward. Akuje na miguu yake ili tumupeleke mpaka mahali hiti sinakaa.
We apologize for that. And now, away from matters, human-wildlife conflict, residents of Theri village, Murang'a ward in Kiharu constituency, Murang'a County, have held a peaceful protest against what they term as an increase of pubs and alcohol selling premises in the area. Led by ward representative Peter Munger, they further claim that the situation has led to overindulgence in drug and substance abuse, leading to disruption of livelihoods. Deputy Commissioner of Kahuro Sub-County, Esther Njeri, urged the aggrieved residents to petition the Murang'a County government to revoke the licenses.
Moja peke yake ya kufunga vilabu ambazo zinauza pombe isiyo halali. Hii ni baada ya watu 5 kupoteza maisha yao kupitia kwa hizi pombe. Nao wakaaji wa huku wakaamua kuanzia leo hakuna kukunywa pombe tena, tufunge vilabu zote na waanze kukunywa maziwa.
Licenses watu wamepewa hata huko Kahatia yenye zingine hata zina operate 24 hours. Kuna ile mikakati they can be revoked kama wanaumiza jamii. Na mheshimiwa anajua hivyo. Nyinyi wenyewe mnafaa muandike na musign. Ipigwe stamp na ofisi ya chief ama ya ACC ama ya DCC ipelekwe kwa county government.
And on health matters, Kiambu Governor Kimani Wamatangi has launched the construction of a new 60 million level 3 hospital in Gathega in Nyadhuna Ward, Kabete Sub-County, that will take 6 months to be completed and handed over by the contractor. The project is among the 16 new level 3 hospitals being constructed in the county. The 2-story facility is expected to enhance access to quality health care for the residents of Kabete and neighboring areas and ease congestion.
Hii hospitali ikijengwa itatusaidia sana kwa sababu tunaendanga Wangige ama Gashie, lakini ikiwa hapa karibu iko na faida sana kwa watu wa kijiji ya Gathega.
Contractor amesema 6 months amemaliza. Umesikia His Excellency amesema alipwe aondoke. Halafu services ni 24 hours. Mchana na usiku services. Dawa zote zinakuja.
Cases of gender-based violence in Makueni County are reportedly on the rise after 644 cases were recorded between September last year and August this year. Now, according to the Principal Secretary, State Department of Gender and Affirmative Action, Anwa Ng'ombe, 54 out of the 644 cases are of girls under the age of 9, while the other 587 victims are aged between 10 and 17. The PS is attending a gender sensitization forum in Makueni County aimed at promoting gender mainstreaming for a more equitable society.
Between September last year and August this year, we have reported cases of 644 cases that have been reported of sexual-based violence. And out of these cases, unfortunately, 53 of them are ages between 0 and 9 years. And then 387 are between 10 and 17 years. It appears then that the young people are really suffering from GBV, particularly sexual nature.
Well, at the moment, we shall be crossing over to Endarasha and link up with our reporter John Jacob Courier, who has the latest development from that region whereby the Hillside Academy tragic event that occurred on Thursday night that left 21 boys dead. Now, Courier, kindly bring us to speed on that report.
Thank you, Jackie Wambiru. I know I told you that there was no action here like about 20 minutes ago. It's interesting how news really changes and fast so because as it is right now, there's a bit of standoff between locals and protesters, some of them who have already started making their way towards the Hillside Endarasha Academy, and what they're doing is to push for answers, but there appears to be like there will be a form of standoff between them and locals. And I just want to move off camera so that you can see what is happening at the top there, where there appears to be a barricade that is being put by locals to prevent protesters from making their way here. Some of them, at least you can see a handful, who have made their way here. They have managed to make their way here, but there's quite a number that is kept off by locals from that other end. I've seen a number of police officers really walking towards that, and probably they'll be able to resolve the impasse or the standoff that is there, but that is the current situation. So it appears like the demonstrations are really going to happen at the Hillside Academy. And some of these protesters really have come as far as from Nairobi. The idea here is to push for accountability and openness in terms of how the government is dealing with this matter. So what you see above there, as you go up, is a standoff between locals and protesters. And I understand there's a barricade from that other end also, and barricades from the other end. The idea is to keep protesters from accessing this area of the Hillside Endarasha Academy. But they appear quite determined to make their way back here, and we'll be informing you regarding what is going to transpire. But that's the latest. The demonstrations, clearly, Jackie Wambiru, are going to happen. But for now, let me hand it back so you continue with the rest of the broadcast. We'll be coming back later.
Well, that is our reporter John Jacob Courier giving us an update from Endarasha, whereby there appears to have, or rather there is a standoff between locals and protesters who plan to stage a demonstration seeking transparency of the investigations that are currently underway. We shall be keeping you updated as we progress. Now, moving on to other news. The Lake Bogoria ecosystem, which is a conducive habitat for flamingos, is under threat following the invasion of the destructive weed Propolis juliflora. The first weed, commonly referred to as mathenge, has cast a shadow over the water body, inhibiting the growth of other plants mostly relied on by the flamingos for feeding and breeding. The mathenge weed has also invaded shores of Lake Bogoria, making the landing and takeoff of flamingos impossible.
This is the dense canopy of the famous Madenge plant that characterizes various parts of Baringo County. Because of its healthy green foliage, one would confuse the area to be agriculturally rich. But this weed has had far-reaching effects on the ecosystem here. The saline waters of Lake Bogoria harboring thousands of pink flamingos, which make the area a tourist attraction, is currently the victim of the destructive plant.
The birds had been badly affected by landing, and so a big number of flamingos, actually thousands of them, had been dying because of being trapped, by prosopis thickets as they land. Because in the night, the visibility for the flamingos is very poor.
That therefore discourages the flamingos from coming to Lake Baringo, where they come and eat biospecies that are in the lake. They depend on algae and other biospecies that are in the lake.
The weed, known for its rapid growth, has encroached the shores of the Lake Bogoria and beyond.
Even tourists themselves, they cannot go there because the hot springs have been blocked. The Matenke 3 has a lot of thorns, so people are not able to reach the lake.
Kwa upande wa mbuzi, ng'ombe na zebras, memaliza nyasi.
There is movement of wildlife between Kiborgoch Conservancy and Lake Bogoria National Reserve. So prosopis had blocked completely the corridor.
Currently, there are already various conservation efforts underway in the county to try and address the threat posed by the destructive plant.
Recently, when we had the Baringo Prosopis Management Plan, it was highlighted by the communities that we need to do something about it so that we reduce the deaths of the birds by clearing off the prosopis thickets that are affecting the landing of these birds.
We are also trying to find partners who can be able to help us in elimination of these invasive plant, maybe through biological methods.
Kamchemenza for Lunchtime News.
The Wildlife Research and Training Institute, in collaboration with Kenya Wildlife Service, has kicked off the second phase of the National Wildlife Census at the Lake Nakuru National Park and Bird Sanctuary. According to the Wildlife Research and Training Institute Principal Scientist Stephen Dambuke, the exercise is in the wake of the recent drought and flooding, which killed and displaced hundreds of wild animals in various parts of the country. Results of the survey will inform retooling of conservation programs for iconic species grappling with climate change and human-induced threats. Similar polls have been conducted in Masai Mara National Reserve, Amboseli National Park and Athikapiti Wildlife Conservancies.
Able to document where wildlife are found and what was the condition of their habitats. Using such information, we are able to establish conservancies in areas which were not under conservancy before.
These are spaces where we have animals from the park and they have to transit to these other areas through these ranches and private land. We usually have a lot of engagement with communities because when we talk about ranches that are either privately or communally owned, we encourage them to have what we call enterprise programs that brings them visitors and they gain as well as the country, because when we get revenue coming into Kenya, then it means it's getting into the economy of the country.
Well, we shall be taking a short break here on Lunchtime News. But before we do that, we want to give an update on what is currently happening in Nairobi, whereby a standoff is currently underway between locals and protesters who plan to stage a demonstration seeking transparency of the investigations that are currently underway. Remember the anticipated post-mortem exercise for the 21 children who perished in the inferno at Hillside Endarasha Academy kicked off Thursday. Well, let's take that break.
Enjoy na GoTV. Beste yako wafuta. Tuna connect na ligi zote. Jishikie GoTV leo ujinice na the best futa live on Supersport. GoTV. Love it.
Mse.
Utiaji.
Washtakiwa?
Wewe utiaji itakumaliza wewe mzee. Na wewe hata chupi unaiba ya nini? Na wewe si msichana. Wewe ni mjinga ya wapi hata wewe?
Kwa nini hiyo miaka yote ikawa ni siku hiyo tu? Umetuitania polisi.
Ninyi wote ni kama mlirokwa.
Wewe
nyamaza. Na mali si tulikuja tukakumwagia takataka.
Hapana.
Hapana, si ndio? Na usiniongeleshe na malingo kwa sababu hata mimi niko na malingo. Wewe ulikuwako tukienda kumwaka hizo takataka?
Si ndio?
Ulikuwa tukienda kumwaka hizo
Mimi
takataka?
alikuwa hiyo ndio
wewe kwa maana ongea ukweli.
Ngoja.
Unafutanga bangi?
Tumii bangi.
Sasa ni swali gani hilo? Maana anaongea vitu za ujinga, yani mtu mzima.
Wewe ukimwangalia huyu anavuta bangi.
Introduced with good intentions, but turned out otherwise.
Hii mbegu ilikuwa tunafurahia kabisa tukiona kwa sababu hapa ilikuwa ni jangwa.
The invasive species that has turned into the proverbial poison apple.
It indicates that actually there were no studies that been done to show that it will later be problematic.
Join Sarafina Robi this Sunday as she unravels the dangers of this plant that has had even livestock move to court to seek justice. Madenge, the poison apple.
Welcome back. This is Lunchtime News. My name is Jackie Wambiru. Sign language interpreter is Lensa Odingo. Now, Kirinyaga County government has refuted claims that it issued new liquor licenses and opened liquor joints at Kangai area, Moya constituency, Kirinyaga County. This follows concerns of a section of leaders in the county of a possible resurgence of poisonous liquor that left over 20 people dead and others lost their sight in February this year. Now, Kirinyaga County Liquor Licensing Board Chair James Kehia said a multi-agency team from the county government security team and bar owners has been established to monitor the operations of all liquor outlets in the area. This move seeks to beef up security and ensure authenticity of beverages consumed in entertainment joints. So far, the number of bars and restaurants has been scaled down from 2,300 to 1,700 in line with compliance and licensing.
Anybody purporting to talk on liquor matters, I think is ill-advised because that is not his work. We have a committee that is mandated to do that job. Any other busybody, please keep off from the liquor business.
Vile vilambu vinafunguliwa hapa Kangai area vyote viko na license na iko katika area ambayo imekumbalika kisheria. Siasa katika biashara ya pombe hatutaki.
A total of 40 sub-counties in Kajiado County have been earmarked to get internet connectivity in a bid to enhance access to government services and boost security. The project, funded by the Kenyan government under the Universal Service Fund, comes following a long time of hue and cry from the locals over lack of access to essential government services. Kajiado County Commissioner Joseph Tari lauded the initiative, saying it will boost e-citizen services in remote areas.
It simplifies the life of Kenyans. I know many Kenyans now can operate from even their seat as they sit in their homes. But again, it also improves to enhance security coverage, because now even my office can also work very closely with the machinery, the way they also do their own things. I can get real-time information from the farthest locations of this county.
And on education matters, Samburu County government has halted food distribution to unregistered early childhood development education centers in the county. Samburu County Deputy Governor Gabriel Lenengwesi clarified that centers in villages and those operating under trees will not benefit. He appealed to the affected centers to ensure they are registered or move near established schools or churches for them to benefit from the program. He was speaking while flagging off the distribution of foodstuff worth 20 million shillings, which is set to feed 36,618 pupils.
ECD centers wanna be the feeding centers to the primary. Our watoto ECD wakimaliza wanaenda next primary. So we should have ECD centers next to each primary, because we are also using the resources of those institutions, like stores, like washmen of those primaries, and even teachers. Our P&O, we are partnering with the national government through primary education.
Sisi tunataka kuhakikisha kwamba shule zote ambazo zimeestablishiwa na county government zitapata chakula. Lakini shule yoyote, any mushrooming school, shule yoyote ambayo iko chini ya miti, shule ambayo ilianzishwa na some villagers, some elders somewhere, tunaomba mfahamu ya kwamba sisi pia kama serikali tuko na jukumu ya kuhakikisha kwamba kuna kitu inaitwa value for money. We give food to established centers.
Well, and now we shall be taking a look at a very special feature where defying expectations and redefining possibilities is what 23-year-old Permenas Youngrin lives by. Despite being visually impaired, he has stood tall against the odds in his condition and not only excelled as an electrician but also as a disc jockey. And as Lorraine Jepchurcher found out, a passion brings a dream to life. Let's have a look.
Somewhere in Kayole Estate, to the further east of Nairobi, Permenas Youngrin, who is visually impaired, leads us to his home. It is here that he has nurtured his DJing skills.
Come on, listen.
Besides this controller, he has a non-visual desktop access designed for the visually impaired, and a few cable connections. And in no time, artful music mixes rent the air. A few lessons here and there on what has earned him the Selector Young's fame.
Ili come true juu kuna screen readers zenye huwa tunatumia. Nilikuwa naanza kujitrain polepole na softwares za DJ. Nikaingia kwa field, nika purchase. Na kufanya research ikakuwa true.
DJing has had its fair share of challenges for him too.
Unapata equipments ziko so expensive. Na kama tuseme my DJing machine yangu ni around 50,000. So na pia their spare parts are very expensive. So unapata moja ikiharibika, it's lazima u spend a lot.
Flip his coin and you meet Youngrin, the technician. At this workshop is where over the years he has fulfilled his childhood passion of being an electrician.
Nilikuwa tu na passion ya mtambo, machines. Nilikuwa tu nachukua mashini na dismantle, naangalia vile components ziko ndani, then nairudisha back to vile iko, na fungua ma sockets and wiring. So nikipigwa shock najua hii ni live wire.
Unlike other electricians, he has his unique way of safely handling live wires and identifying colors of cables.
It's my own research, my own, like naweza sema my own invention. wanachukua tester na place earphone, then nikishika the tip wanasikia some vibration. Then hapo najua ni live wire na moto ina flow. So kama nataka kujua colors, kuna natumianga testers. Kama nataka kujua colors za stima, nikiweka kwa red kwa live wire then iwake, that is natumia earphone kusikiza. Ikiwaka najua hiyo live wire. So najua hiyo ni either red ama brown.
His prowess in electrifying homes despite visual impairment has earned him adoring customers.
Stima ikileta shida ana fix vizuri sana. Kuna wakati radio yangu ilikuwa imeharibika, ilikuwa imenisumbua, na nilipomletea nikamwachia, kumbe alifungua akajua shida ilikuwa ni transformer.
Alikuwa ananitengenezea TV, ama unapata kama mashine imeharibika ananitengenezea.
His determination to succeed has also inspired his fiancée Sarah.
Ni mtu anajitafutia, ana hustle mwenyewe na ana make ends zina meet. Kitu who ni inspire, nimejifunza unaweza fanya anything despite kukuwa na disability yoyote.
Nevertheless, it's not all been success without challenges.
Umetumwa spare part, so unaenda kuichukua, then ule mse anadhani labda umekuja kubeg just because haoni, he's blind.
Hizo machines are very expensive, so sometimes lazima ni hire ama nitafute mtu mwenye anaelewa maneno ya technician anisaidie kwa hizo small equipment, small components. But zingine nikichoma hivyo naweza pata maybe imenichoma namna hii, lakini najaribu tu kukopa. Another challenge ni some motherboards ziko na sharp objects. So before you come realize kitu ni sharp, isha kugwara.
His advice to youth:
kama una feel uko na passion fulani, unaweza try to reach out watu wenye wako concerned na passion yenye una feel.
Passion is what has driven young Green to do such daring ventures. Even so, he does them so well. Then what else can we describe him to be, if not extraordinary? Reporting for KBC Nairobi County, I'm Lorraine Chepchirchir.
Well, now let's talk business. You have until the end of this month to submit your views about taxes and incentives to be incorporated in a new policy being drafted for the manufacturing sector. Investment, Trade and Industry Cabinet Secretary Salim Borer says the government is keen on reviewing and harmonizing the tax regime and payment of pending bills to make the business environment more conducive.
We can rejuvenate and inspire the manufacturing sector, looking at key measures that will attract, incentivize and de-risk private investments in all sectors of the economy, rationalize incentives to boost manufacturing, and also look at measures that will improve consumer protection and fair trade. Measures to improve the performance of the export sector will be issues that we will need to work with KRA. There are issues that maybe we will work with the Attorney General, the National Treasury, and Parliament. So
now, Chinese heavy equipment manufacturer SANY is targeting the African market with electric and hydrogen-powered heavy trucks. The company says it will also be expanding its operations to reach more African countries. The company has presence in Kenya, South Africa, Angola and Nigeria, among other countries. Now, Our reporter O'Brien Kimani talked to Jack Tang, Deputy Director for International Business, and has the following details.
At the sprawling SANY Singsha Industrial Park in Changsha, Hunan Province, a silent green revolution is underway. The park, which produces heavy construction machinery, including mixer trucks, excavators, concrete machinery, and tipper trucks, is a masterpiece of Chinese engineering. The company is present in more than 175 countries globally, becoming one of the biggest manufacturers of heavy machineries in the world. Every minute, trucks roll off from the labyrinth of machines in this complex.
We sell around 175 countries for SANY construction machinery and wind turbine business, etc.
For more than 3 decades, the company has been selling diesel and petrol-powered trucks to the world. But for now, the script is changing. There is a silent green revolution taking place with the plans to transition to electrical and hydrogen-powered trucks that are environmentally friendly. According to Jack Tang, Deputy Director for International Business at SANY Group, Africa accounts for about 10% of all the company's sales annually, with the biggest African markets being Kenya and South Africa.
Typically, it's about how to cover the market, because if we set the market plant in Kenya, we have to think how to cover the adjacent countries.
To meet the global demand for green technology, the company has been forced to modify its original truck production lines, capable of producing various types of trucks like diesel, electric, gasoline, and hydrogen fuel cell vehicles. SANY Group currently produces about 200,000 units every year. Jack Tang says, though demand for electrical and hydrogen units is still low, constituting about 5% of total sales, it is expected to keep growing in the coming years. But for now, it's man and machine at the SANY Singsha Industrial Park in Changsha, Hunan Province.
The Made in China brand has become so commonplace in Africa. From heavy machineries, like what I'm holding here, to simple items like chopsticks and even toothpicks. 7 out of 9 imported items in Africa are from China. But the question is, what is Africa sending to China, and what do we need to do to balance trade between the two regions? That is a $1 million question. O'Brien Kimani from Changsha, Hunan in China.
An application tailored to work in areas with low internet coverage has been launched in Kenya. AfriApp, which has a multitude of features for youth with internet access, is designed to offer an intuitive interface for people with low literacy levels. Woodley Kenyatta Golf Course MCA Davidson DNG Gimboini says the app offers opportunities for monetization through a system of aggregation of social media engagements on posts.
Africans for Africans. Content ni kitu ya maana sana, na content ni kitu ambayo iko na the potential to create a financial independence. And I'm happy about this opportunity for us to monetize our talent through this amazing application by also crossing the borders, moving from across the Republic of Kenya and ensuring our platform is open in all these other countries like South Africa, Nigeria, and beyond. What we call the creative economy has the potential to create an opportunity for you to earn a living, an opportunity for you to make money, and an opportunity for you to develop yourself so that you can be financially independent, you can be able to economically thrive.
Asset financier Mogo has changed its loan repayment options to be made only in Kenyan shillings. The move to drop dollar repayments is expected to stabilize monthly repayments, hence protecting customers from fluctuations in foreign currency exchange rates. The firm has also abolished application fees and reduced the loan repayment period, which is expected to reduce interest accrued and paid by customers.
If you look at the history for the last couple of years, there has been a significant fluctuations in foreign exchange. This has affected customers who took their loans in US dollars. As a way of listening to customers and supporting customers, we decided that we are going to offer these loans now only in Kenya shillings. There are many advantages for customers using loans in Kenya shillings compared to other currencies. One of them is there will be a constant monthly installment. With constant monthly installments, it means that customers will be able to plan for their monthly payments, and when they have better planning of their monthly payments, it means they'll be able to pay their loans on time. This improves their credit score, and with improved credit scores comes many other benefits that customer will be able to enjoy.
Laikipia County Government has rolled out a sustainable agriculture value chain enterprise seeking to improve farming by incorporating enhanced technology. Laikipia Governor Joshua Irungu says the project targets to directly benefit 40,000 maize farmers by linking them with markets offering better prices for the produce.
Mambo ya soko ya mahindi yetu ni kwamba tupunguze zile mazao yetu inapotea kwa sababu tunaitaga na Kiingereza post harvest losses.
These technologies will enhance production of the value chains, the cereals, the pulses and African vegetables. Then along the value chain, the youth are also able to participate.
Moving on, the Naibosho Women Craft Center in Koilale, Masai Mara is set for a major upgrade due to courtesy of the Great Plains Foundation. Nelson Oleg Kirokor, CEO of the Koilale Community Development Foundation, says the craft center has been instrumental in empowering local women through the production of beaded jewelry and handmade soaps. Now, since its inception, the center has directly benefited over 100 women.
The Great Plains Foundation involvement began in 2022 with the profession of beading raw materials and has since extended to constructing modern facilities and facilitating market access for the center's product. The support was aimed at improving the center's infrastructure and strengthening the local economy by promoting sustainable practices and traditional craft. Magdalene Tika, production officer at the Naibosho Women Craft Center, highlighted the broader benefit of this collaboration. The initiative also aligned with the environmental and sustainability goals, with seedling provided to women to combat climate change. The upgraded facilities and continuous support from the Great Plains Foundation are expected to further elevate the center, ensuring long-term sustainability and enhance economic opportunities for the local communities. Felix, Kivu Lunchtime News.
And now in the sports arena, the Kenya men's 3x3 basketball team kicked off their campaign at the ongoing FIBA Under-23 World Cup with mixed results. They lost to Latvia but bounced back to beat Chile in their opening Group D matches in Ulaanbaatar in Mongolia. Now, Latvia beat Kenya 21-12 in the first match before Kenya registered a 16-11 win over Chile in the second match. The Kenyan Chargers will be aiming to secure wins in their remaining fixtures against United States and Lithuania, scheduled for Saturday. Meanwhile, the Kenya women's 3x3 team will be seeking to bounce back to winning ways in the remaining fixtures against Israel and Germany, slated for Friday after losing their first two matches. The final leg of the 2024 National Sevens Circuit, the Prinsloo Sevens, slated for this weekend at Necker Athletics Club, has received a sponsorship boost of 3 million shillings from Kenya Breweries Limited. The Prinsloo Sevens, which brings the curtain down on this year's thrilling circuit, will see top teams compete for the coveted championship title. Necker RFC Chairman Agri Omio expressed confidence in the tournament success, noting that preparations are in the final stages. The Prinsloo Sevens follows the conclusion of the Driftwood Sevens in Mombasa, where Kenya Harlequins emerged champions after defeating KCB 15-12 in the final. Kenya Harlequins currently top the overall standings with 97 points, while Cabras RFC is second on the leg. Despite missing the podium in Mombasa, KCB, Menengai Oilers and Strathmore Leos complete the top 5 teams in the standings. Powerhouse Brazil and Spain advanced to the quarterfinals of the ongoing FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup in Colombia. After winning their respective round of 16 matches, Brazil defeated Africa representatives Cameroon 3-1, while Spain humbled Canada 2-1.
Favourites Brazil take on tournament debutants Cameroon. It's Eto'o! Brazil 0. Cameroon 1, and there is a review taking place, is there? It's a goal! Cameroon have a shock lead. They might have some trouble here.
Well, thank you so much for keeping it a lunchtime news. Well, that brings us to the end of our bulletin this afternoon. My name is Jackie Wambiru. Sign language interpreter is Lensa Odingo. Well, for more news, check out our website at kbc.co.ke. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon.
Will you focus, you cabbage face? This kind of speech is for those who use their brains. You, on the other hand, could use water and soap.
Guys! Julia and Vala, I've eaten all the food. Now we are going to die in the jungle.
Will you keep your voice down?
You know, I had no plan of going out like this, just so you know. And Julia, just know you're the worst planner in the history of planning.
What is your problem, eh? Why can't you just enjoy the trip like the rest of us? We might have taken the wrong van. Whose van is this?
I'm feeling the music in the air.
Welcome to Health and Lifestyle, where we bring you personal stories of individuals facing the challenges of health and wellness. I hated my baby. Those are the words of a young mother who shares her postpartum depression story with us. Phoebe Ndongo, a psychologist, demystifies mental health. And we tell you habits to practice to help you manage postpartum depression. All that's coming up on Health and Lifestyle. My name is Marie Yambo. Would also like to hear from you. Go to our social media platforms at Marie Yambo, at KBC Channel 1 on X. On Facebook, it's KBC Channel 1 TV. Share your ideas and comments on some of the topics you'd want us to cover in this program. Birth of a baby can start a variety of powerful emotions, from excitement and joy to fear and anxiety, but it can also result in something you might not expect, and that is depression. Most new moms experience postpartum baby blues within the first 2 to 3 days to even 2 weeks after birth. This may include mood swings, crying spells, anxiety, and even difficulty sleeping.